Yo, good morning. What's going on, Descendants? So we have our tier list. You know the tier list that everybody wants to see where their characters place. Well, I mean, long TLDR, they're all trash. No, I'm totally kidding. No, but we're gonna go ahead and start off on the list with Bunny. Now, Bunny, she is great at the defensive missions, the kill missions that you have to go around to different points and kill a bunch of enemies to progress the rest of the mission to get the rewards every, I think it's 3, 7, 10, that progression right there. As far as bosses, there's certain bosses she really excels at, the early bosses in particular. As in my experience from when I was playing, the further I got, the less I started seeing of Bunny. Uh, because, well, mostly because probably most of them weren't all that great. But from what I've seen and from what I played, Bunny is fairly squishy, so she can't really hold her own in certain boss fights. Therefore, if it was up to me, I would say she's a solid. I mean, I guess she's an A because she does a lot of good stuff well, so it's not like she's limited. But there are bosses, as with all the other Descendants, where she just doesn't. She's just there. She's just here. Reina, as much as I love this character across both betas, she kind of got dethroned this beta by another character as far as dot damage and everything else she can do. She does a lot of things well. She brings some utility to boss fights as far as like a defensive down or increased damage on the bosses while they have toxin. But outside of that, it's not really a whole lot. She doesn't have as big AoEs for the defensive missions. Her poisons are really good, but they, from my experience playing this game and like Warframe, I kind of put her in the same category as like a Saren, but Saren's AoEs are just so much more potent. And for that reason, I have to put Reina in the A. She's still really good, but she just gets outclassed by a lot of the other Descendants that have been in this beta. Fiesta, she was a monster in the previous beta as far as her defensive and survivability goes. They did add in some new modules that really do help her kit out as far as the blizzard, where you can make it a projectile, and the ultimate version of her, she can cast it without casting it, if that makes sense, where you don't have to actually hit the button. I didn't play any of the ultimate versions of the characters because they're basically seen as just stat increased characters at the time, so it really wasn't a point in trying to grind that hard for a character that I was only going to play for a couple of hours. Uh, However, on most boss fights, Fiesta really doesn't have anything else going for her. Defenses, she's kind of in that same category as Freyna. She's just here. Yes, she can use her two to run around and put ice paths down, but they they don't really provide a whole lot. Her blizzard's really good for AoE control, and like I said, the defensive down on bosses, but I really don't see her, like she may need some changes. I don't know. I think once you get to the harder stuff, she'd be a lot better. But from what I've seen and what I played of her, she's solid. She's not like, oh my god, I gotta play her, or oh, this character is really bad, let me put her in the trash or whatever. The Queen Glay. I mean, do we need to even say anything about Glay? Like, she's just been a monster each beta that she's been in. There was a glitch going on where she can melt bosses. There's still a glitch going on where she can melt bosses. I don't even really need to say anything else about her. She's just that damn good. Just, I mean, yeah, top of the meta right now. Um, Even if she only can use her two abilities, one of them gives her infinite ammo, and the other is literally just a stat increase for the weapons you use. So if you use a beam rifle, you're getting more damage, and then you're also getting the penetration for using the weapon. I mean, enough is said about her. Like, I don't see anybody else disagreeing with Glay being the best character in the game. Sharon, oh Sharon. As much as I want to like you, you really don't have a whole lot going on for you. You kind of could use a rework. Um, you just your defensive down is good. Everything else in your kit is mid at best. Your invisibility is mediocre. The ult where she fires the missiles, okay, that's cool, but most of the missions you're gonna have multiple enemies and she can't hit all the enemies. It's a set amount. So with that said, she's pretty much the only character in the C tier currently. Valby, I ended up getting her yesterday, getting her to max. She is probably the second best character in the game, in my opinion. Just for the fact that she does everything so well. Her kit flows seamlessly. Like, she has all the AoE you could use. She's one of the best defensive Descendants, one of the best characters, honestly, in the game. Just for the fact that her synergy provides so much for other characters. She can also provide electric down, which helps Bunny. She can also provide fire down, which helps Blair, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And just for that simple fact, like, she's in the S tier, and I honestly place her above Bunny for those Descendants. The Kyle, the man, the headbutting legend. I call that his ultimate the headbutt. Like, it's so funny seeing it go off and hit somebody and kill him. He has a really good kit. My only complaint is the shield needs to be his left bumper A, whatever you want to call it. His first ability needs to be fixed to have more collision detection, because there's been numerous occasions where I've used it and and I went through a mob and I didn't get anything for it. So basically put myself in a bad situation. His 3 is excellent for the fact that it uses his passive shield on top of the energy shield, and then it explodes and reflects all the damage back. He's pretty much in a really good spot outside of that one being changed. I want to continue playing him. I want to see him do well in higher tier content if they decide to make that for the full release of the game. He's in that same boat as Reina. I think those two will excel once there's like harder content or more content that specifically utilizes these two characters. Lepic, haven't really seen a whole lot of them. From my experience in the previous beta when I played him, he was really good. They gave him some mods, but I'm basing this off of what I've seen and what I've seen and what I played. He's pretty much in that same category now with the mods that he's received with Reina and Kyle, where he can pump out a lot of damage. Like, for instance, the Devourer I was on 2 days ago, a Lepic in there was on the same kill speed as I was for killing the pillars. We were both able to solo the pillars that we were at. Meanwhile, the other two party members were trying to take down one pillar together. So I'll just leave it at that, just to let you know the damage he can pump out is pretty nice. Ajax, this man is a must-have in pretty much any boss battle. The shields that he provides is amazing. The barrier that you shoot through to do more damage is amazing. His current builds that I've been seeing people do, where they're stacking defense and reflecting all the damage back to the boss to one-shot them, he just, it's a must-have. Like, you need Ajax for a lot of content. well, not necessarily need, but it's nice to have one there. I didn't play Ultimate Lepic. Like I said, I didn't play any of the Ultimate versions because there was no need to. My man JayBird, this is the character I'm currently maining, but I may main Valby when the game fully releases. I'm kind of stuck between the two. JayBird has so much in his kit that he can provide to the team that it's pretty ridiculous. And right now, yes, there isn't a need for healing, but there's a mod that you can, excuse me, there's a mod that you can get for JayBird to turn both of his turrets into attacking turrets. And there's also a mod to turn, you know, his turrets into medical turrets. So he can fill different roles as needed for certain situations. What I've done personally is I have a mod to where when I heal or revive a down teammate, my weapons get stronger on top of having both my turrets down. So I'm basically continuously stacking damage by putting out a medical turret near people and they stand in it, things like that. JayBird, he does so many things well. Granted, he's not as strong as like a Valby or a Bunny for the defensive missions, but his turrets do basically one-shot most of the mobs that show up outside of the beefy boys with the shields on like wave 10. And I think most of y'all know what I'm talking about. So he's a solid S tier. So I mean that's there's no questions about that. And yes, some of you may disagree, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. Blair. This man is in the same category as Fiesta. Does some solid damage. His 4 can be modified to do a ridiculous amount of damage. However, he needs a lot of setup to do that damage. And I really don't see him having a place currently in this beta with everything that was going on. Now, the only thing that would bump him up once again is if he's teamed up with the Valby and you give him the submachine gun that increases fire damage when you hit the enemy. So Valby giving the boss the minus 20%. The submachine gun, I believe, gives another 30%. So you're at 50% right there. And then throw in Blair, who's just basically a fire mage. And he should be pumping out a good bit of damage on his own. The ultimate team comp that I would probably work on if you have friends and you're playing this game is it would be Valby, Bunny, Blair, and Glay. That'd probably be the 3 that have the most synergy as far as what works for everybody. Or you can do Glay, Valby, JayBird, Blair. I'm just trying to appease the Blair people, the Blair mains, and everybody out there like that want to take their character to boss fights. But that's pretty much how I see the current tier list. If you have any disagreements or you would rearrange someone differently, let me know in the comments. Outside of that, I hope you enjoy the rest of the beta because it does end today, if I'm not mistaken. And we do get some more rewards. So to unlock the rest of the characters that you don't have and you may want to try before the beta ends. But until next time, hopefully they will have some more news about when this game comes out as well. Until next time, I'm out of here and you all take care. Peace.